Okay, so I would like to do a brief demonstration on how to use LinkedIn to get new connections and connect with people that are already in the industry doing things similar to what you're doing. So there's a lower barrier to getting them interested in potentially investing alongside you. And this is so simple. You're already here anyway. You're already using LinkedIn to read and study up on posts that are out there every day, educational content. LinkedIn is almost like my daily reading of the newspaper. So I'm in my messages, and so this is a place where we have private messages with everyone on LinkedIn, and sometimes I'm part of groups where someone has added my name to a group, or I've asked to be involved in a group. This happens to be one that is about cost segregation, and Isaac Weinberger is in the group, and Isaac may have been the one that added me to the group. I don't know. For you folks that don't know him, he's at Madison Spec. If you don't know him, you probably do know Yona Weiss. But anyway, take a look at a post that Isaac sent here recently, and it was just a question. Do you think real estate conferences have too many vendors? I've been to many multifamily conferences, and if I had to guess, the breakdown is probably 60-70% vendors and 30-40% owners. There are two annual conferences that come to mind that are exactly the opposite: eCore Summit and Multifamily Owner Summit. So here's the first point of interest: is you can follow this particular summit if you're not familiar with it, and do the same thing that I'm doing right now, and gain even more access. Same thing here. Also, you may not be familiar with the conference, and it may be one that you want to attend. It may be one that you're not aware of that's in your backyard. So already two great pieces of information here, and a recommendation personally that goes a long way toward helping you out. And anyway, getting down here, what I want to show you, continuing to read through the post, and then you know Isaac is going to start to call out some folks. This is very common when you're trying to boost your post, trying to get more people to get eyeballs on it. But that is the ninja connection tactic that I want you to be aware of. So everyone here, if you don't know if you're connected to them, and I can look at these and tell you most of these folks I do not know, I am not connected. So I will right click and open in a new tab. Now, I've already done that prior to starting the video, so I'm not going to repeat that process. But I just have gone through here and looked at the folks that I do not know. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 new connections here. Oh, and there's many more. So I only did the first 6, but here we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 potential new connections. Now, I did recognize a few of the names in there, so I will not be connecting with them. But the vast majority of the people in this post, I do not know. And here again, another trick that I use is to go down through here, and people that have liked or are also in the post, I will click on their name. Here's one that I am not aware of, so I will open that one in a new tab. Okay, and just go down this list and continue to open up all these potential new connections. So I'm going to close this one and go to the next one. So here's eCourse Summit. I'm already following this, and it says that I'm connected with 164 people that also follow this page. So this tells me that this is a page that I'm very likely to be interested in, and it's one that's in a place I love to visit in Miami, Florida. So here's the other event. I do not follow it currently and have only 8 connections that are following that page. So this is more likely to be a place where I'm going to find a lot of new connections, and it's out of New York City. So I'm definitely going to follow this, and I might also look at the employees just to see. Okay, I don't know why that popped up that way, but typically it will list out the employees, and I might connect with a couple of the leaders of the particular summit and see if there's other people there that I already know. And I would probably visit their website. I would definitely look at their post. Now, when I start to look at their post, this one has 3 likes. Show more results. And I don't see any others, so I'm just going to click through and see this was posted 3 months ago. It does not have very much traffic, so I'm probably just going to ignore that one and move on. Okay, here's one of the first people, and as you can tell, I am already connected, but I didn't recognize Shane's name right away. So what I will definitely do, especially since he's a developer, and I've got some projects right now that I could definitely benefit from having a follow-up conversation with Shane. So what I will likely do is first, even though we're connected here, make sure that I have him already in my CRM. So let's just paste him into my Google Contacts and make sure that Shane is there. And he's not directly there, but another contact that I have is connected to him, and there's a conversation that's been had about them together. Because it picked up his name in Branton's notes. So in these notes that I have between conversations of these are conversations I've had with Branton, and Shane was mentioned in here. Now I'm not going to take the time to go and look right now. Instead, what I'm going to do is go ahead and add Shane to very quickly. I'm not going to go into great depth or detail. I'm just going to add him to my contacts so I make sure that I reach out to him very soon and have a follow-up conversation. And I'll probably start it within LinkedIn using the messaging. But immediately, what I want to do, let me just drag this over here so that it's easier to find. Then what I like to do is just go to his contact information and copy all that very quickly, drop it into my notes, and then also I love to go to the About section because that was written by Shane himself, and he's going to self-introduce and describe the best of who he is and what he wants everyone to know about him. So I'm just going to copy that and also paste that into the CRM. This is just Google Contacts. That's what I use. And then I can export those, download those into a CSV file if I want to use them in a mass mail campaign or something else. Now, I will also come up here because in his contact information, I already copied his LinkedIn, so I don't need that. But this is his personal website, so I will definitely move that up into additional websites, and that's his company. And here we have Shane's email address. Now, this is an email address to his direct company, which is okay. You know that I always say get a personal email address, but this is his personal company in real estate that he uses, and so that's the second best thing. Now, if that was him working for an outside entity, let's say GE Capital, then I'm not likely to even put it in here. I'll try to find him in another way. Although if I have no other way, then I would reach out to him using the email that I have. But I do, which have another way, which is we're going to use LinkedIn direct messaging. Now, oftentimes in LinkedIn, you will also get additional information, sometimes even a mobile phone number. A lot of people love to have their, if they want to be found and if they want to do business, and it's just another trick for you, always put your personal email or the email that you're most likely to have for the next 10 or 15 years into your LinkedIn contact information, and also in excuse me, here in your LinkedIn contact information, have your personal email and your personal cell phone listed. And if you don't have an about section here, make sure you add one. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with each and every one of these new contacts, even if I'm a first connection with them. So here I am not a first connection with Jay. So oftentimes, if I feel like that they're likely to connect with me, I can just ask for a connection. I can ask for a connection and add a note, but I would want to do a little bit of research before I actually did this. So if I'm in a hurry and I'm not doing that, what I might do is just follow them and then do exactly the same thing, which is take Jay's contact information, and create a new contact. And as you can see, this is a laborious process. You have to do it, but it literally takes just a few seconds to create a fairly in-depth contact for an individual. I mean, literally less than a couple of minutes at most. And I'm not timing myself, but you probably can look back at this recording and you'll be able to see how long it took me to do this. There we go. We have another contact added. And you just keep going down the list and doing this. Now, typically for me, I will take a little bit more time because, as I said, this is my morning newspaper. So what I love to do is come in and read this very quickly. And I'm glad I came down because I forgot to add that in. And by the way, you cannot copy and paste this stuff on the mobile app. You have to do this from your desktop. And I do not know the reason for that, but that unless it's changed within the last month, it doesn't allow you this copy paste experience from your mobile app. But what I like to do is come and look at all of their posts, and then you can keep duplicating this same process. So in most of these posts, I like to read, this is a new property. I see that it's 114 unit in Houston. I'm also in Houston. So I might reach out to Jay and say, hey, Jay, I'm also a fellow Houston operator and would love to, let's see real quick. Let me go back here. Does he live in Houston? He lives in DFW. Now, I also own properties in DFW. I see that he's a veteran. I'm also a veteran. And so we already have several things in common that, and not to mention 240 something common connections in LinkedIn. So it'd be real easy for me to make a personalized connection with him if I wanted to go ahead and connect and add a note right now. Then that's what I would do and say, hey, I'm a fellow veteran. I own properties. I see you're from Dallas. I own properties in DFW. I seen that you recently closed a property in Houston. I also own properties in Houston. Would love to meet with you. I'm going to be in Texas next month. Would you like to meet up, get a cup of coffee or have a drink or have dinner? And really, folks, it's that simple. And you can continue to do this if you just read these posts and just look for names in the post where they're calling people out that, and you might be looking for a new vendor, Madison Spec we just looked at them. You'll see vendors all the time saying, I really want to thank my closing attorney. I really want to thank my insurance guy. I really want to thank my lender, and make all of these connections for the people that you may be looking for, that you're like, I get emails every day saying, hey, could you recommend a lender? Could you recommend an insurance agent? And this is more or less a recommendation. This is who they used on their last deal. So just go through and try to make those connections. And then the other piece that I love to do is, as I'm looking at this, especially on one like this where they're talking about a closing, not only am I going to look at the whole transaction to see if they called anyone out, but I'm especially interested in the people who liked it, and see if there's any here that I'm not connected to, because it's likely that these folks also are potentially limited partners in this deal, and or friends of his that are also in the business. So one of the things that I will definitely look at when I go through these is not only just if I'm connected to them, but I also will look at the brief description of what they do, because I want to know if I see someone here here's a perfect example, DOD cleared cybersecurity engineer with 25 years of security experience. These guys make a lot of money, okay? And it says that he advises and implements infrastructure and security practices for small and large companies. This doesn't sound like a guy that is a sponsor. It doesn't sound like a guy that I'm competing with that's out here raising capital. It sounds like he's a limited partner. He's looking for deals to invest in, or probably invested in this one. And he's just following it because once you make an investment, you are very curious. You're always lurking in the background, trying to see how is the property doing. Another one that I'm not sure, and if I'm not sure, I might click through and open him up and see a little bit more about what he does. Looking for someone who does Fannie and Freddie green replacements on toilets and other water conservation tactics. Right here's a guy, and I'm not connected to him. Great excuse to connect. Corporate controller, Jennifer, probably need to connect. Doesn't sound like she's a in the business. Likely, still has a W-2 and not talking about real estate, so likely a LP. Okay, I'm not connected to Rashab, but project management and real estate entrepreneur, less likely to be an LP, more likely to be on a GP team or trying to get on a GP team. Okay, so you can see I've got a long list of people that I can go down through here and connect with. There's a lot of people in this following this post that I am not connected with. We could potentially here, just in this one post, add 30 or 40 new connections, and it would not take that long, and we don't have to search through a whole lot to find them. We already know they're in the industry. Another thing, look at the comments. Okay, multifamily insurance. Now, I can load more comments, but it's showing most relevant, which means it will not show all of them. But if you want to see all comments, look at most recent, and it'll show all comments. And I'm just looking through these just out of curiosity, see if there's somebody here that I might want to do business with, or again, make a connection. You know, I'm going to right click and open a new tab for this person and then go and take a look at them and see if I want to connect. But I'm also, more importantly, I'm just real quickly, I'm looking at a comment and what they said just to see if I'm particularly looking for LP investors. Okay, so you can see the method to the madness here. And this is how I have built my entire LinkedIn connection and profile. I have almost 11,000 followers, and it won't show you how many connections I have, but I will tell you that I'm probably somewhere on the follower group. That is a smaller subset of how many people I'm actually connected to. Okay, so, and I've built every single one of them using this same method. So I hope this is helpful to everyone. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but it's a personal connection. It works very, very well. And the follow-up is you have to take and put someone like this in your Calendly. Okay, so I might take and copy Jay and come to my Calendly, which is on my other my other screen, so you guys are not seeing it. But I'll just copy Jay and put him into my calendar and find a date that I have a 15, 20, 30-minute opening, and I'll send him an invitation and say, hey, I connected with you on LinkedIn. I would love to have a conversation to get to know you better. And that's it. As simple as that. So hopefully you guys use this. Drop me a comment in LinkedIn and let me know if this was helpful. And I'll also post it in the GOB private Slack channel. And feel free to share it with anyone inside the GOB network that is trying to raise more capital and make more connections.